I listen to podcasts and I feel like
You
I
feel like you know them.
know them. Yeah. Like these are
Yes.
my friends. They hang out with me every day when I drop my kids off at school. I know them.
For
and I
sure.
do feel that way. Like I feel like I could reach out to some of them and I don't know, even though they would never respond to me and there's like,
Yeah.
a million people probably feeling the same way. It just feels that way. You get really close to people when you hear so much about their lives. Welcome to Unplugged, the tech podcast for digital entrepreneurs. I am one of your hosts, Brooke, the founder of the Sober Biz Collective.
Hey, podcasters. My name's Nate Kelly, best-selling author and founder of Podcast Revolution Studios. If you're looking for tech, tools, and tips on how to utilize podcasting for your business, you're in the right spot. Let's get unplugged. Okay, episode 1, part 2. Let's dive into tech talk and, Brooke, let's talk microphones.
Obviously, when it comes to podcasting, the number one thing you think of is the microphone.
The microphone. And I will say, when I first started, I probably, and I shit you not, went through 50 microphones that I bought on Amazon and returned probably 48 of them because I was just kind of like picking and with no thought or education behind it. So this is what Brooke and I are hoping to do here, is to put a bit of education behind it.
But you know what? Also, there's a lot of podcasts that I listen to, and they started with their iPhone mic, wired iPhone microphone. They sat in their car, so it was quiet, and that's how they started their podcast.
Yes.
A lot of podcasts can sound great if you have a really sound dense room,
right?
And you might not need to invest in something too fancy. One thing I would look for is making sure you have like a directional microphone that's just picking up your voice. A lot of people like to buy those Blue Yetis to get started, and they're going to get the sound out of your entire room. So unless you're literally sitting in your closet underneath a down quilt or have like a full studio, you're going to pick up the sound from your whole room, which is not what you want with a podcast. You're going to probably get a lot more echo than you want. And there's so many great options to get started where I don't know why the Blue Yeti became like the gold standard for every millennial woman that wanted to start a podcast.
Right.
But there's better options out there. I want to give a big shout out to Rode, first of all. I'm using a Shure microphone, but I know Nate, you grabbed the Rode, and I want to talk about that for a second, but I need to tell you guys this story before we get into it because I've had the best experience with Rode's customer service.
Amazing.
I'm about to go grab me one of those Go-To Pro mics now, the ones that just like clip onto your shirt.
Oh my God, the audio is phenomenal.
Yes. Shut up. It literally just arrived.
No, it did not.
It literally just arrived.
My God.
Okay,
this is legit right now.
How is that real? As soon as I start talking about it, talk about manifesting. Okay, so I had a Rodecaster, which is like a podcasting mixing board. It's amazing. I loved it when I bought it. I was doing like live Instagrams with the Sober Scoop, and we had like pre-programmed a intro music and stuff into this board, and it was just so much fun.
You can do transitions,
sound effects,
everything.
Cheering. I was using it when we were doing Clubhouse, when Clubhouse was really big.
Oh yeah.
We had like all the sound effects. We did a trivia night. It was so fun. We had a comedy night, and I'd like make laugh tracks and shit because it's so awkward doing comedy to nothing.
to crickets.
Yes. But anyways, so I've had that for 3 years. My warranty was expired, but the button broke to turn it on, so I couldn't use it. And it was quite pricey. Like it's like $900.
Right.
Yeah, Canadian. And so my husband like contacted Rode just to see if we can get them to fix it or something. They were incredible. We sent it to them, and they didn't have parts for the Rodecaster 1. So they replaced it completely because one button was broken. One button. They replaced the entire thing with the brand new Rodecaster 2.
Rode. And that's
like I will buy everything
clap
you make from now on.
Yes. Well, I was going to big up to Rode today anyway, because I not long ago bought the Rode PodMic USB. Rode actually just did a new launch of updated tech, new equipment for content creators, the wireless mic that Brooke mentioned. So check out the Rode new line of equipment if you haven't yet. The microphone that I'm on now is also a dynamic microphone versus condense. So dynamic versus condenser is the technical jargon, if
Yeah.
you will, but the condenser, how Brooke mentioned, sort of picks up everything. You can record more than one person. If you're in a group setting, like she said, it picks up everything in a room. Whereas if you aren't in a sound treated studio or a more professional setting, you're going to want to get a dynamic microphone, which is that directional. You speak right into the top or side of the microphone. It picks up only your voice and drowns out the rest of the background noise or room noise for you. So that is the style of mic that we are each talking on, and I personally recommend to all my clients so that you don't have to worry about the dogs or the kids or the DJ in the back and all of the above. So high recommendation. Rode just killing it. Big up today, especially
Yeah.
on Brooke's delivery.
Yeah, I'm beyond. I went with the Shure microphone. Now I can SM7B. So the reason I liked this one is it has both XLR and USB-C inputs. And I'm a Mac user, so USB-C is important for me.
Yeah.
I need way less dongles. The sound is absolutely incredible. It is more pricey than the Rode. But
this
both,
was $199 USD. That's
yeah. So
probably
I
what,
think
3?
it was about 380 Canadian, I believe.
Okay.
So I don't know what that translates to. There's like a
Me
30%
neither.
difference, but
Yeah. We are an international podcast, by the
that's
way.
right. That's
So
right.
it's okay.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I also have a Rode NT1 microphone, but that one I use for like vocals for
Yeah.
when I'm doing sound.
Yeah.
And so I want to hear the guitar and I want to hear the echo in the room and those kind of things when I'm singing, right? So you want something that's a little bit more full. So I use the Rode NT1 for that. My husband actually uses it for video game streaming. He does like a live streaming thing, plays retro video games. And
Oh, is he a Fortniter?
he's not a Fortniter. My kids are. I have a
Oh, nice.
teenage and 9-year-old Fortniter.
Got it.
Yeah, no, he does retro games, so he's into like all the old school stuff.
Oh, okay. Like shit that I could actually play.
Yeah,
Like N6, like Nintendo shit.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
NES, all the
I love
ends
it.
and earlier systems. So maybe we'll do a tour of his room one day and
Yeah.
go through all the equipment he uses too.
Yeah. I was thinking we could do like a studio setup episode in the
I
future.
would love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, love Rode products. I had we still do in his office. We have the boom arm from Rode, which is really smooth, and I did switch. I don't know if it's an upgrade, but I switched to the Elgato low profile, which I am
Same.
obsessed.
It is amazing. So a boom arm would be, you've seen them 100 times if you see any podcast clips on social media, sort of the thing that holds the microphone that you can kind of swing around. It does actually serve a purpose though. So if you set something on the table, you can hear that through the microphone. So if you're on a boom arm, it's kind of suspended in air and will also eliminate any of those kind of background noises as well.
That's something I also wasted a lot of money on trying to get affordable options because it's
Yeah.
they either don't hold your mic properly, so they're just slowly dipping the whole time.
The worst when you're just like,
or you hear it, the springs in there when
yeah,
you're trying to move
yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely actually recommend if you're going to be investing in something, if you don't have like a solid base stand that can just sit on your desk and not move, that's a great option to get started. But if you need something that's more mobile, if you need to get a boom arm or anything, that's something that's worth investing in a little bit of money for sure.
The low profile of it is just very sleek. It takes up much less room. It's kind of like just level with the desk. So it's not arching and, taking up any of your primetime real estate in your desk or your studio. Super sleek. Oh, I love it.
So microphones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So what did you start out with? It was the handheld Samsonite. Was that the one?
You are so good, girl.
Yeah.
It is the Samsung. I have it right here. It's a Samsung Q2U. It is a handheld mic. It is also a USB-C / XLR, which I think is important to have that capability to be able to evolve or extend the life of equipment, to be able to have different options as you learn more, as you get more studio equipment,
Mhm.
to have those options. So, as a beginner, or if you're looking for an upgrade or a new microphone, all three of these that we've discussed so far have the USB and XLR option. So something to look for sure. But this is $60 US,
Yeah.
and I always got compliments on the tone of my voice in the episodes on the Sobriety Diaries, the quality of the microphone. People always asked, and it's $60,
Yeah.
So this is what I recommend my clients as a new podcaster.
Yes. And I think the importance of the XLR inputs, as well as if you do want to do a show with multi-channel, so there's more than one person speaking and you're not going to be doing it over Zoom or
Yeah.
StreamYard or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing it in a studio. So if you're going to have two different microphones, there's not really a good way to do that with USB or USB-C inputs. And then the board will be connected to your computer through a USB. So you can have more than one audio channel at a time. And then you'll be able to adjust the levels of everybody. So if you have a very loud talker, someone who's really close to the mic or really far
The
away from the mic,
worst. The
you
worst.
have all of the options. Maybe I should just unbox it now so
Yeah.
we can let them know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's do it. Tell me, since we record our podcast remotely, what benefits does it have for remote recordings? Can you still do the sound and all of the same effects?
Yeah. So, I mean, it depends on the board you get with the Rodecaster. You have built-in sound effects. They have pads that you can actually program to do anything you want, basically. So
Amazing.
if you have a podcast intro that you say it's the exact same every time with the music in the background, and you want to do a live
Yes.
stream to YouTube through StreamYard or whatever, you just like push your button, the intro plays, and then you guys get started, right? So rather than pre-programming it into your computer, that's an option. I used it for Instagram lives. I could connect it to my iPad with the USB-C and go live on my iPad. And then I had all of these capabilities. I can play music. I could play phone calls. So if someone wanted to call in, it can come through your Rodecaster and
Ooh.
into your computer for recording. So yeah, there's a ton of reasons why this is better. If you're just getting started, you don't have to worry about getting into it. Like grab something
Right.
that USB that plugs right into your microphone that you don't have to adjust too much. But if you're into the tech and all that kind of stuff and sound engineering, like you have so much more control when you use a board over audio, your own audio and all that kind of stuff. And then you can also add sound effects and different fun things, which I love. So the other thing I love about this one is the channels for headphones. So when you have guests, if you're going to be live in a studio, everyone has their own headphone channel and you can like adjust the volume of your headphones. When I did do in-person interviews, when I was doing Seek Purpose and we had a guest, we had like 3 headphone jacks. I had to buy an adapter that would go into the board in order to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And it was so helpful, like way more helpful than I thought it was going to be, because we had some guests that were harder of hearing. They could turn up their volume, and then some people that didn't want to hear themselves at all could turn it all
Right.
the way down.
Amazing.
So it actually ended up being like way more useful than I expected.
Amazing. Well, since you mentioned it, check today's show notes as well for a link to leave us a voicemail and or jump over on social media. We will also be doing a segment for listener Q&A. So podcaster Q&A, if you're starting out, if you're looking for advice, if you have questions, anything about podcasting, content, digital entrepreneurship, let us know, and we may feature you in the listener Q&A segment.
I
So
can't wait.
fun.
This
I
is going to be
know.
such a fun
This
like
is, yeah,
collaboration journey.
it's really the start of a new chapter, both, professionally for both of our businesses, and to create a platform for other podcasters to unite and share information and to really help one another launch and scale successful shows. So, Brooke, we'll add some B-roll of the new Roadcaster. But do you have any specific goals for the show? And we'll kind of wrap this portion of at least this episode up.
Yeah.
Do you have goals for this project that we're doing together?
I mean, I'm really excited just to help some people, feel confident about podcasting because I watch a lot of people with so much amazing knowledge and talent and humor and all these things try and get out there and try and get started and wanting to get these shows out, and then like I'll listen to it and it's super echoey, or there's like little things and I'm like, oh, I can help you. But I've been doing this thing where I don't offer to help people unless they ask for my help, because otherwise I found that I actually annoy people when I do that. Unsolicited advice can actually be insulting, apparently. Like, no, I just want to help you. But yeah, so I feel like this is a way where we can really share the things that we've learned, mistakes we've made and successes we've had, and help people that want to get their voice out there and have so much to share and so much value and insight to give the world. And I'm really excited just to be able to support those people in a way that's not invasive.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why I've made this shift, and it's very woo woo.
Okay. I love woo woo.
There's something called human design, which
Yeah.
is similar to astrology. You find your birth date and time and everything, and it gives you like your profile. And so in order for my profile, I'm a projector, and it's a really cool thing to be because you kind of see a bird's eye view of the world and you can really help people navigate things. And you're like a guide, right? Like that's your profile is like the guides in the world. But the problem with the projector is you have to wait to be asked and invited to things in order to share your
Oh,
knowledge. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in your like shadow side, I guess, is like bitterness. When a projector is living in their design, they find success. And so I want to live in success. So I wait to be asked before I do things now. And it's been working out very well for me. So
got it.
are you looking up yours now?
Yeah, I can't remember because I did it. I'm either a generator or a reflector, but I can't remember.
Oh, interesting. Reflectors are like the most rare.
Yeah, so maybe I'm a generator then.
Oh, that's
Does that
awesome.
does that make
Yeah,
sense?
generators get stuff done.
Okay. Yeah.
That feels right. That feels right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got
that
like
sounds
this
right.
profile that makes me like operate similar to a manifester, but then I'll get burnt out really quick because you know what is so cool about this is we've talked about it. I feel more excited to do podcasts with guests and things, or
Same.
like work with people and do that kind of stuff. And then I found out through like my profile that I get energy from other people. I don't produce my own energy. So when I'm with
Mm,
somebody, I feel more energized and excited to do things than when I'm on my own, which just
got
made
it.
so much sense to me. Who knows if it's true,
Yeah.
but it's like bang on. So
Yeah, exactly. Carry on banging. You will come to realize and appreciate, dear listener, as well, that we will be infusing recovery, mental health, manifestation, because it's just simply who we are, and it's part of our work and professional and personal lives. It's part of who we are. It's part of who we've evolved, as people. And Brooke and I were, I think, drawn together or, matched for a reason, and you're going to hear the best of it. So that's unplugged.
I didn't know we were going to get into all this woo woo stuff, but I'm happy.
Just not fighting it and kind
Yeah.
of wherever the conversation takes us. And I think that's a good tip for beginning podcasters, is to trust that sort of evolution of a conversation. But I think it's important to kind of trust your ability to lead or follow a conversation. It's kind of like trusting your gut.
That's such a good point. Yeah, I just heard a podcaster I love, Rich Roll. It's like a ultra runner vegan guy.
Amazing.
And in recovery as well. Love.
Yeah. Look at that.
Literally just today I was listening to his podcast and he said, I prepare for my shows and then I let go of that preparation and just be present. Right?
Amazing.
So
Yes.
good.
That's great advice. So we'll see you next time on Unplugged.
Yeah. Awkward endings.
Thanks so much for hanging out today. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube for all of our video content at Unplugged Tech Pod.
And join us in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Unplugged Podcast. Also, make sure to throw us a 5-star review if you are finding this content valuable for you and your digital business. We accept all forms of reviews: Apple Podcast, Spotify follows, YouTube, telling your grandmother about us.
And make sure to share the episode with one person in your life who may find it valuable. And we'll see you next time on Unplugged. I think it's good enough. And we're just going to keep getting better.